you still shivering?
I'm still shivering.
Really?
Yeah. You can see it on my skin. It's like the chills are still there.
So for the listenership that are just listening to like maybe on whatever podcast platform, they don't know, but we just got out of a cold plunge. And I'm shivering a little bit too, just starting to regulate.
Yeah.
Then obviously for the viewership, if you want to watch that video, I'll put that video link right here, and you can watch that sort of segment of Thanesh and I getting quite cold
and shivering when we come out.
Yeah. And then before that, we did some more biohacking. We got to hang out in the sauna. Right? Get a good sweat on. So that was nice.
That was really nice.
Now here we are now doing the podcast.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is, I don't know what episode this is, but this is the Gut Gang podcast. And I'm very excited to have you here, Mr. Thanesh. Nice to see you. Thank you very much.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. We've been talking about it for a little while.
Yes.
Right? There were some prior commitments for the first one that you couldn't attend.
Couldn't make it, yes.
But now we're doing it. And so as I always allude to, and there are some prerequisites, as you know, to be part of the podcast. And you have to be an awesome human being. You've got to be willing to do the cold plunge and willing to do the sauna. That's if they haven't graduated.
Yeah.
Right? But if you've graduated, that automatically gets you a hot seat. It's just even bonus that you decided to do the cold plunge in the sauna. So, how you doing?
I'm good. Feeling good.
Yeah.
How do I say it? Physically, mentally, I feel amazing. Most of this happened after your program. Mainly fit, like body-wise, my body got like way better. And
big transformation.
Yep. I was 243 when I started the program. By the end of that 6-week program ended, I dropped to around 210.
Wow.
210.
So 30 pounds.
Almost. Like I was 210. And that was just 6 weeks. And honestly, I was just sticking to the protocol of carnivore diet. And I really liked it because it was like I had the energy I needed. And I also like I felt good eating like grass-fed steak. And I was like, I honestly didn't even feel like eating carbs, because whenever I eat carbs, I started to feel like a little bit like how do I say it? Like lazy. I started to feel lazy because like the carbs, like it's harder to digest. So like I just started eating more and more like protein, and that was also helping me kill like all the bad stuff. So
let's give the viewership and the listenership some context. Before you and I even met, let's go farther back. Where are you from? Where you came from? Your backstory in terms of your health. So why don't you just paint a picture? You know, who is Thanesh? Where are you from?
So I was born in Canada, Scarborough, Ontario. Yeah. And I was always a chubby kid when I was born until like 10. I was very like athletic. I was playing all these sports. I used to win like on track and field, like, the sprints. And then after like 10 or 11 years old, I became like really, really chubby. And I became like the people that everybody made fun of. I was honestly getting bullied since I was young, even when I was skinny and stuff. But once I started putting on weight, I got bullied, and it just like because whenever I eat like a beast. I eat everything, like pizza. Like if I'm eating a whole pizza, like I would eat a whole like extra large pizza to my face. And then that was kind of like that kind of caught up to me when I was like 15, 16 years old, because I joined the football team in grade 9. And I got cut off the football team. And I was like one of the only ones that got cut off the football team. Okay. And that kind of like got to me, like I was like, I'm sorry, I'm just shivering. I don't know if you can hear me. I was like,
so it's going to take a while for us to regulate. And so again, like For the viewership and the listenership, we do apologize. We are trying to get warmer. And that's what happens when you get out of a cold plunge. Mm-hmm. And as I was saying previously, we always do this here in the podcast, like a different order. Some people will do the sauna first. Some people want to do the cold plunge. Sometimes we'll want to do the podcast or vice versa.
Yeah.
Right? Technically, you should end on cold.
Cold, yeah.
So we ended on cold. So be it.
It's okay.
Don't be a hater.
No.
Come join us.
It's not sauna. Sauna is amazing. Since July, after the program, I've been doing sauna every single day.
Yeah.
Even if I don't go to the gym, even if I don't like do anything like physical, like any activities or anything, I'm in the sauna. Just like
you like it.
I like it. It makes me feel good mentally. Mm-hmm. And I feel like all the bad stuff out of my system is just getting out.
Well, it is.
Getting rid of everything. And I feel it. I feel that like it's getting rid of stuff because I feel good.
Yeah.
And I just kept on doing every day. And now my time is going up. I can do it for more time. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes I would run in between, do cold showers so I can stay in there for longer.
Yeah.
Honestly, I meet a lot of people in the sauna too. Like I go to a Good Life sauna and like you meet people, you learn about their life experiences. Mm-hmm. I've honestly helped a couple of people like with their like addressing their gut issues in the sauna. And like one guy, he's a teacher and he's like, this can like save my girlfriend's life. She's going through like some extreme irritable bowel syndrome situation and she's like went to the doctors and stuff and they couldn't help her.
Yeah.
And like when I told him this and like he was so excited and then like I gave him your information to like follow, like to look up look up all the information. Yeah. He's the one who taught me this.
Yeah.
Like I'm just saying it from my experience.
You're the messenger, I get it.
And he's the one who helped me. And then he was like so happy. And like now if he sees me, he's like, bro, like
did he listen to you at least?
The thing is, the people he was listening and telling his girlfriend, but like I don't know what happened after that.
You can lead a horse to water.
Yeah, right. But she told me she was trying to follow. I gave them my Instagram too. They said he tried to follow me, but they couldn't find my account or something. But I didn't see him after that.
Hopefully you see him again.
Yeah,
you can just check it. Okay, but let's go back to you.
Yes,
you said we got to about 15 years old. You were getting a little bit overweight.
Yeah,
you're getting made fun of.
I was 265 pounds, 65 or 75 pounds.
When you were how old?
I was 15. I was in grade 9.
You're a big boy.
Big, very big, and I was short.
Okay.
So it's like, I look pretty large.
And you are tall. Like you're almost 6. You are 6 foot, right?
Yeah. At that time, I was not. I was like short and chubby.
Okay. Short, chubby 15-year-old.
15-year-old. And in grade 9, when I was picking, I went to my I forgot what the people at they help you pick your courses for the next year.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a grade 12 fitness course in grade 10 for my year, like for my next semester or the year after. And the first day we did, like in that grade 12 fitness course, we did like just stairs in the school, and I lost like a couple of pounds. It was just water, but then I was like, oh, this is easy, you know. And then I went from 265 to 220 in like 2 months.
Just from gym? Just
like working out.
Okay.
And that was just like, I started watching my dad a little bit. Mm-hmm. I wasn't eating like clean. Right. I was eating I didn't know about those foods. I was just trying to eat clean.
Yeah.
And I was still eating my mom's food and stuff, but I was just doing cardio, working out. At that age, I wasn't like very strong. I remember curling 5 pounds and I was.
Were you a member of a gym or was this through high school?
High school.
This
was all through high school. And then, so by, from January is when I started the semester. By June, by May, I dropped to 200 pounds.
Oh my God.
From that time. And I was like, I dropped to 200 pounds because the last time we did a 5K run and that kind of just like helped me lose more weight. And it was just honestly water and inflammation. Mm-hmm. As I'm thinking about it now, like that time I was like, oh, this is all fat.
Right.
No, but like I can see it in the past, like from May, where I lost 40 pounds, like 30 pounds. Like it's inflammation from the food I was eating.
Of course.
So that's why I was able to lose that much weight quickly. It wasn't like I was all fat.
Right.
It was just the food. So
yeah.
And then by 17, so 15, so the semester finished. So year after to 17, so 16 or 17, I dropped to 150. I came from 265 to 150, all the way down. I was like really skinny. And I got, at that time too, like I grew. So like it kind of like evened out. So I went from that weight, 265 to 150.
150 is skinny though.
I was really skinny. And then.
Did you have like an eating disorder or something? How did you drop that much?
No, I didn't. At that time, I was eating pretty clean still after the semester finished.
Yeah.
And I just, like, I was eating regular foods after that. I was eating pizza and like foods that I like. Yeah. But I was just using the gym.
Understood.
And I was able to like cut down to that 150.
Yeah.
And then I was really, really, really skinny. And I like, you know, at that age, there's no beard and it's like, you look like a child still, you know? And so I got to that weight and then I told myself, okay, I didn't tell myself. I kept on going to the gym. I never used pre-workout or any caffeine or anything. I would just go to the gym. So when I started using pre-workout, that was when I was 17. Like I started to like get like good pumps, you know? And then I would go to the gym in the morning and sometimes I would go in the night too because the feeling was so, I remember I saw one vein on my arm and I was like, oh my God, this is so exciting. And then I just, from that day, I've always seen a difference in my body. So that's what motivates me and pushes me to go to the gym. Until like the past year, like that's what's been helping me mentally and physically. But it made me feel good physically all these years, but in the past year, it's been helping me mentally more because, you know, honestly, after a certain age is when you get stress and like mental health issues because of things that are happening around you. Yeah. But until like 21, 22, I didn't have that. I was living like a child pretty much. Of
course.
And then once like reality hits you, when you get responsibilities and when you overthink stuff is when stress comes in. And that's when the gym helped me more because some days I wouldn't even feel like getting up and going, but whenever I go to the gym, I would feel mentally better. Yeah. So, so last year I started to like get all these fearful thoughts and stuff and overthinking and all of this. And like, I honestly got like super insecure about my body and stuff. I was, for my age, like everybody tells me, oh, you're good looking and stuff like that. But when I grew...
Where did it come from? When did it start? Because I remember we were friends at the gym and we spoke once in a while. And then I remember you came here and we were just talking and you bought some Man Up because I said, like, it sounds like you just got some low testosterone.
Yeah,
maybe the Man Up will help. And you said it helped for a little bit, but you were really mentally struggling.
I was struggling. So it's like, the trauma, I had trauma from since I was a young age because me being bullied and stuff. But then it kind of like triggered me when I got in a relationship. Right. Because like I fell in love with this girl and like when you start to overthink stuff because you've never been in a relationship. That was my first relationship. So you don't really know what, like, how to act and the way to like what their expectations are, how to like, you know, you just, like I kind of changed as a person up to someone who I wasn't in order to like keep or like, you know, like to make them, how do I say it? I don't know, whatever it is, like it's just like, it kind of triggered me like to be someone else.
And listen, I want to emphasize this to the listenership and the viewership because I want them to listen to what you're saying right now because so many dudes, well, and girls for that matter, when anyone finds themselves in a new relationship, they start acting differently. Yeah. Right? We start acting differently. So I tell you what, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll go into that about relationships and why you started to change because so many people are going to find, you know, a commonality and they're going to relate to that. Yeah. Okay, cool.
For sure.
All right. So we were talking about relationships and you found yourself in a new relationship and that you were changing. That's happened to me too. Like, I totally changed.
It happens to a lot of people, but they just don't know that they're having issues inside, and they're just like, how do I say it? They're like, they either leave the relationship and don't do anything about it to fix themselves,
right?
Or they either stay in that toxic relationship or whatever, and they just like, kind of like, that's how they get depressed and anxiety, because you're being someone who you don't want to be.
So there's 3 scenarios, and you said 2. 1, leave the relationship, and then probably pass on those same traits to the next relationship,
because you never healed those issues,
right? Or be a dickhead and insecure during the relationship,
stay in it and make life miserable for the other person, and your life is miserable.
So then what's the third scenario? Do the work. Figure out your issues and do the work.
Yeah, that's true. And it's like, see, like, in my culture as like brown people, it's like, if we're going to therapy or something, they'll be like, oh, you're like, are you mental, or like you have like issues,
right?
Like, what's your issues? You know what I mean? Because in back home, or like,
where's back home, by the way?
Sri Lanka. I'm from Sri Lanka.
Okay.
So in those times, they don't know things about trauma. They don't know, like, people have like insecurities. They don't know, like,
they don't know, or they don't acknowledge.
They don't acknowledge.
Okay.
They don't know what trauma means. Like, you can ask them what, like, maybe like modern parents, or they'll know, but like, for example, like my parents or something, like they wouldn't know what trauma means, because
it exists. It's just
it exists.
It's just like blind. They don't know about it.
They don't know about it.
Okay.
It's like when they feel like insecure or something, they don't know how to explain where it's coming from.
Okay.
They don't think, oh, this is coming from here. But they've been through so much trauma because of war, and like how their parents were, and like people around them were, but then they don't express their feelings, because they don't know how to express their feelings. They don't know how to, like us, like people that are born like in Canada, or like in the nowadays generation.
Yeah.
We can talk to someone.
Sure.
We can be like, okay, I'm feeling like this. I'm feeling like down like this. Or honestly, I feel like a lot of people's traumas are suppressed until something triggers it. So like, for example, me, when I got in a relationship, like I was like, I have amazing body, like I'm a good looking guy. So like I was confident. I was like, I'm good, like I don't have any trauma. And then once once I started feeling a little bit, what I did was I started comparing myself. And once that happened, I started to feel insecure about myself. And once I started feeling insecure about myself, fear started coming in, like, oh, what is he thinking? What is she thinking? Oh, what if I do this? What if something like this? Like, Instagram became like anxiety to me, because I would like get scared. What if some girl messages me? Will my girl leave me? Stuff like that.
All kinds of thoughts.
So I got triggered. So once that trigger happened, like a lot of stuff came out. Like I started getting so many intrusive thoughts. I just couldn't control. The stress was just going on and on and on. And that's when my gut got messed up because of over stress. And I started binge eating, and I started eating foods with like that were sensitive to me. Like I remember eating like Mama Tea cookies.
Okay. What are those?
They're like protein cookies.
Mama Tea cookies.
And that had gluten in it.
Okay.
So before I wasn't eating any gluten. I was only eating gluten-free foods. But once I started eating this, I started eating like 4 or 5 cookies at the same time. And then right away I would have like diarrhea or like some like symptoms with it. But I didn't know that was affecting my stomach too. And then with the stress and all these foods and in a couple of months, I was like, that's when I got the colitis because my body was overly stressed. And then I've noticed, okay, so I've got this stomach issue because of all the stress from the trauma, all the stress from overthinking, all the stuff from the fear.
Yep.
Because my head was just going nuts. Because I didn't know how to heal myself. I had to go to therapy after 6-7 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then therapy, honestly, it helped a little bit, but I wasn't able to control my head. Like I wasn't like, it's not like I can just tell myself, okay, stop. Like my body, it wasn't allowing me to do anything like that. But then once I did the gut reset.
Hold on, let's talk deeper into that.
Yeah.
So you're all stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
You've got these invasive thoughts towards yourself, insecure thoughts, jealousy thoughts. Mm-hmm. You said Instagram was just perpetuating this downward spiral, worse, right? Like... Then you developed colitis.
Mm-hmm.
And so your bowel movements changed.
Everything, yeah.
Inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
What were some of the other symptoms that you were experiencing? Because I want listeners to pay attention now. Pay attention now, listeners, because symptoms associated with colitis are quite common,
mm-hmm.
and people don't make the connection.
The main thing was anxiety. My anxiety was like, it's like a panic attack was just hitting my chest, in the middle of my chest. Like every day when I wake up, like I would just think about something and it would be like a fear, and then I would like panic. And then like I felt like, you know, like when I'm gonna lift like 500-pound deadlift, I would feel a little bit scared.
Yeah.
But this is how I would feel every day, because like it was like adrenaline rush. You know,
remember
like,
we were talking about that last night on the call?
And that's what I was literally like.
So you were in that state.
I was in that state every single day, like that's why I like when we were talking about adrenal fatigue. I can't wake up in the morning like as I used to before, because my body's just so tired from. So that what I would do for that is just to keep myself like try to feel better or whatever. I would take extra pre-workout and put excess.
Hold on, let's go back a little bit more. I want to go back because that's an important part.
Mm-hmm.
You were very, very anxious,
mm-hmm.
and you were almost getting like anxiety attacks.
I was getting anxiety attack every day.
Was that brought on from the colitis, or was the colitis symptoms all of a sudden triggering you to have an anxiety attack? What was predominantly happening first?
So it was the intrusive thoughts would give me anxiety.
Okay.
But then after I got colitis,
mm-hmm.
it's like wherever I go, like if I feel anxious right away, I know I have to poop. Like it's like I would get scared. So like it's like right away my stomach would just start like
mm-hmm.
give me signals that okay, I have to go to the bathroom. And it's like before it's usually like just gas. But at a certain point, it's like you don't know the difference. It's like that was making me more anxious.
Understood. And
then from that, like after that triggering point, I got depressed. My weight.
What about the mornings? You said like you couldn't wake up in the mornings.
So I would sleep. I used to sleep at like 8 o'clock, and I would wake up at 3:34. At a certain point, I was getting up at 2:30 and going to the gym at 3:30 because I was so excited to go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
But I would sleep at 8 and try to wake up at 4. That was my regular schedule since 2020 COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I was good with it. I was getting up at 4 a.m. without an alarm at a certain point. And after that, after I got colitis and stuff, I couldn't, like the anxiety attack, I couldn't wake up. Even if I slept for 10, 12 hours, I would still get up feeling tired, like really, really tired.
Mm-hmm.
And like yawning, low energy, feeling depressed, anxious, like, and the worst thing was like, I was trying to eat clean in that time and try to stay fit. And my body was not allowing it because my stress was so high.
Mm-hmm.
I was holding so much water. Like at a certain point, like I was honestly wasn't even eating at a certain point, and I was like I couldn't even drop weight because the stress, like cortisol, was so high all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was holding so much water in my body.
Yeah.
So until I kind of realized that like I need to bring my stress down and stuff. But this whatever I tried to do, nothing worked.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing worked. I literally was gonna pay anyone anything to get to help me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they said therapy would help. They said I was looking for different types of therapy, hypnotherapy. I was doing like the normal therapy where I'm just talking to a therapist.
Yeah.
But it was like she would tell me stuff, but I would like take it in. But then because of my intrusive thoughts or my negative thoughts or something, I would just forget. I would just like, it was just mentally, I was just like, it was so much. So it's like when I wake up in the morning, before it's like, I was so calm. I can take my time, go to the gym and stuff. I'm like, I have no negative thoughts. I'm just happy. Okay, what I'm going to do next in life.
Yeah.
But when I started to get that, after I got triggered, all I think about is the past. So after a certain point is when I started becoming aware that, okay, if I do not heal this now, this is going to be with me for the rest of my life. And because of this stress and the trauma and like anxiety I have, it's going to ruin my future, like my physical body. Like it's going to give me diseases and like so much stress on my body that like I can't do anything because your mind's just going to be flowing with all these negative thoughts.
Of course.
And those negative thoughts it's very harmful for your body. And I'm only becoming aware of that now. I didn't know all of this. Like I just thought, I was just thinking, oh, this is just, this is how I have to live for the rest of my life. I was just, at a certain point, I was just trying to go back to my old life. I'm like, I just want to be like this. And it's like, but see, like everybody can get triggered in a different way. Like someone can die and like some loved one can die and they suddenly get triggered.
Sure.
See it was because of a relationship. Because I was reading a book. Sorry, I don't know. You probably read it too. Laws of Human Nature.
I haven't read that book.
You haven't?
No. Who wrote it?
Robert Greene.
Okay.
So
what's it called?
Laws of Human Nature.
Laws of Human Nature.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he said when you fall in love is when all your insecurities and your fears come out.
Isn't that funny?
And then I was like, okay, this makes sense.
Now, totally fast forwarding for what you and I, when we had that nice long call, when we did the DeMartini method. And what's the author's name? Robert Greene?
Yeah, I think it is.
Let's if we're bashing it, we apologize. We'll put the real author's name and the book title down there.
Yeah.
When someone falls in love, that's when their true insecurities appear. Basically, that's what he said. Now, with the information that you've learned through the method, when someone falls in love and they are experiencing insecurities, is that true love?
No.
What is it?
It's when you love someone's flaws and they love your flaws is what true love is.
Well,
and
flaws and like the good and the bad.
Good and the bad, yeah.
Simultaneously.
And if you love both of those and the other person loves both of those, that's true love.
Right.
And there's no insecurities or no fears.
How can they exist?
Yeah. That's because you guys trust everything is good. That's true.
Yeah.
But in order to get to that point, we need to work on ourselves too. Like we have to feel secure in ourselves.
Sure.
To, you know what I mean? Like it's like that's what I've noticed in the past like year and a half. I didn't know anything about trauma, insecurity, to love yourself.
Yeah.
Like now I know you have to love yourself before you love someone else.
So what does loving yourself look like? Because that's going to be different for everyone, right? And especially with this new information that you've been acquiring and you've been doing the work, what does loving yourself look like?
Loving yourself, like, I'm honestly trying to find that path. I'm trying to go in that path right now too, but it's like finding, it's like within yourself, you have to love how you are inside. Not by looking at people like, like not being like, okay, am I good looking? Or if that's not your worth. You know what I mean? After a certain age, you're going to look ugly. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I'm just saying this, you have to know who you are from inside and you have to love yourself from inside of who you are. Are you like the person you are? You know what I mean? You have to enjoy the things you do. You have to be like the person who you are. Like if you're a positive person, if you're, like, if you're helping, if you're willing to help people, if you're like, good at this, or everybody's good at something. You know what I mean?
So you got to honor that.
You got to honor it, and you have to work on your. And what I notice is, at this age, like me, this thinking, I always I kind of came to a conclusion that if you don't love yourself, you shouldn't get into any relationships, because that will.
Say that again.
If you do not love yourself, don't get into a relationship. I wouldn't get into a relationship.
Yeah.
Because that'll ruin the other person's life, because you'll make them miserable. Because you're going to be looking for validation from the other person, where you're supposed to be giving yourself validation.
Right.
So when you're at that point where you can give yourself validation and validate yourself for anything that comes up to you, and you're happy with yourself within, is when, you know, even if a person you're in a relationship, they have to make you happy. Like you have to be more happy with them. It shouldn't be like changing you.
Yep.
Because as the DeMartini thing, when you change yourself is when you get depressed and anxiety, because you're not being your true self. When you are your true self, like, and the person loves your true self, you're like, there's no insecurities, no fears. You're not going to be scared, oh, they're going to leave me.
Of course.
But by accident one day, like you're drunk or something. So in that book too, it said the dark side comes out when you're on when you're either angry or like you're intoxicated with something. So it said when you're drunk is when your true self comes out. Like, so there's like, when you can be drunk and you're very, like, when you're not drunk, you can be a very like reserved person. You don't talk to anyone.
Yeah. And
then when you're drunk, you're like running around talking to people. That's who you really want to be.
Right. Kind of. Yeah. Sure.
And then when you're not like that, when you see that, and you don't, like, if I don't like that, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna, and if I kind of yelled at you, or if I made you feel shit about it, you're gonna probably like fear being your true self.
Sure.
So,
and you don't want to be walking on eggshells. You don't want to do that. You want to feel free to be yourself all the time.
So once you can be yourself without any fear, why would there be any insecurities or anything? Because you can just, if that doesn't work out, you won't even be like, you'll look at the minuses and you'll be like, okay, I can't be myself. Why would I want to be with this person for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
And be miserable. Where I can find someone that actually loves me for who I am.
Yep.
And be happy.
So before we wrap up for the next break, would you say the underlying cause, now obviously there's a nutritional component, right? But would you say the largest part of your stress came from your lack of self-awareness and insecurities because you found yourself in a relationship and you were not acting as yourself?
I wasn't aware of my insecurities. I wasn't aware I had so much trauma.
Okay.
And I wasn't aware, but I think nutrition is all connected to this.
We'll go into that in the next part. Yes. But it's just, I want to close with that because it's pretty powerful. So you would say that a lot of your symptoms were stress induced.
Yes, everything was stress. It was literally stress. Like, I felt myself like going down like that. I was just digging holes and holes and holes, and like that same hole just going down and down and down because of stress.
So then really quick, what was that one moment when you realized that you got to stop the stress? At what point did you realize that?
I kind of realized that after the DeMartini method.
Oh, so it's kind of recently.
In fact, I've noticed I've struggled to be myself because I walk on eggshells. Because that's why I couldn't. I'm just a very people's person, and I hate being reserved. And it's like when I see people, I want to talk to them.
Yeah. And
then when I can't do that, it's kind of like I overthink it. You know what I mean? I'll be like, oh, is she gonna leave me, or is she gonna think? And then I would just trip out in my head, and then that would stress me because I would overthink it. I'll be like, oh, then if I can't be like this, why do I have to even be in this relationship? And if I can't be normal, why do I have to do this? So I just kind of told myself, like, she's gonna leave me. I'm gonna be myself.
Yeah.
So
relationships, guys and gals. you got to figure your shit out first before you hop into a relationship. It's all part of the learning process, and it's all part of us growing up.
100%.
But there is, as you said, there is a point where it's probably best be single, figure your shit out, however long that's going to take.
Yeah.
And if it takes a long time, then so be it.
So be it. That means it wasn't meant to be.
Figure your shit out first. All right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll conclude with some more about nutrition, relationships, and 100%. Sort of where you're at now. Yes. And I want to show that crazy testimonial or the transformation picture of you too.
Yes.
All right, cool. Let's take a quick break.
Brandon! Something happens inside us when we get inspired to change ourselves, change our nutrition, our fitness. But we really do need to visualize to see and feel how we want to be. And for that, we need a plan.
No, you need a plan.
I want you to say,
need a plan.
We need a plan.
You said we so I don't know.
Brandon Coates is the author of the 30-Day Challenge to a Healthier, Happier, Stronger You. Let Brandon into your lives for just 30 days. It'll be epic, I can promise you. Because for some of you, maybe it is time to bust out of what you are. It's the 30-Day Challenge to a Healthier, Happier, Stronger You. Available direct at BrandonCoates.ca. And go behind the scenes with Brendan for each and every episode of the Gut Gang Podcast. That's available everywhere you get your podcasts. Brandon! I think this podcast is going to be fun, pretty fun, and different than the other podcasts.
So what were we talking about before we took a break?
Lack of awareness from within.
Right.
And insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
And then connecting that to nutrition, how we can connect, how it connects.
Well,
to
just
nutrition.
so important.
Important, yeah.
Right. And I think if people are on their personal development journey, at some point, I would hope that they discover that food is really, really important. I think most people do, but there's lots of different
100%
different diets out there and all that stuff, right? Are they living a gut-friendly living? Are they living a gut-friendly lifestyle? Probably
not.
Right. We know what's really, really good. Okay, so you realized that you had some insecurities and you faced them.
Still working on them, trying to heal myself. So there's so many things I'm trying to fix. It's like some past memories that come up to me. So I just try to think of how I can get over this and how to heal it.
Yeah.
But it's a process, honestly. It's not easy.
Well, let's talk about the past here.
Yes.
Let's pull up this photo of you. Which one do you want to pull up? This one or this one?
This one. This was when I was...
This one first?
This was when I was 14.
14 years old.
Or 15.
Right.
And this was a year or two later.
Wow. Look at your baby face. Where's your beard?
I didn't have a beard.
Couldn't grow one. That's so funny. So, and you've been at it. You passionately love the gym.
This is my passion.
You love it.
Yep.
Right. And then this one. This one's crazy.
Yeah, this one was. So when I lost that weight, I gained it back in 2020. So in 2015 or 16 is when I started working out. And then when it came COVID time, I gained this weight because I was not eating the right diet. This is a lot of inflammation in here, I can see.
Yeah.
And I was able to, this was a year after, but I was able to lose the same, this is the same weight I lost. In 4 months, I lost 75 pounds. So I was 275 here. And I dropped to 200 in 4 months.
Okay. 2 points that come to my mind right now. One is a lot of people that lose weight, often they gain it back and it's like there's no hope in heck that they'll ever get back to where they did or where they were. So my first question is how did you do that with your mindset and all that stuff? How did you go from looking really, really great, happy, confident, gaining the weight back? You'll have to tell us how you felt and all that stuff and what your thinking was. And then how did you get back to that? Right? Because that's 2 transformations. And then the other question is, did you do this naturally? Because you look like you're on steroids here.
No, all natural. I honestly
you look like you're on steroids.
This was okay. I took one ingredient. It's a herb, Tonkat Ali.
Yeah.
Nothing other than that. And I'll say this was intermittent fasting.
Intermittent fasting and Tonkat Ali.
Tonkat Ali.
So for the listenership and the viewership, my product, Man Up, and this is not a plug, like you just said it, but one of the ingredients in Man Up is Tonkat Ali. It is one of the best herbs that guys can use.
100%. It boosts your testosterone, like free testosterone too.
Yeah.
And that, like when I started taking that, I started to feel like a little bit more confident.
Look at you.
Too.
You look great. And you still like, you're jacked now. This is you. Like this is you. And so share that story. What was your mindset? How did you get it back? Like, how did you find that deep drive to get it back?
So at that time, the 2020 time, I was, there was like this situation going in my house. My sister got sick. She got cancer. And then I was too stressed out. I was just eating too much. And then at a certain point, I was like, okay, like, I don't want to look like this anymore. So I got to this point from that feeling good and confident is because my diet was wrong. And I was honestly thinking I'm bulking. And I thought I look good. But then when I actually took a picture, like it looked extremely horrible. So I'm like, I looked at my picture on the phone. I'm like, I do not want to look like this. I was 25, around 30 or 40 pounds less than this. And I looked way more leaner, but like I still had like a little bit of a gut. But this one went overboard. So I told myself I do not want to look like this. And once my sister got sick, I kind of realized you don't know what's going to happen to you tomorrow. Cause like she was very healthy and she was like good. She was running around. She was working. She was going to the gym every day. And suddenly she just got sick.
Right.
So I kind of like, that kind of pushed me, you know, like, I'm like, I want to live my best version. So I was very strict during that COVID time. I was working from home. I spent over $1,000 or $2,000 to buy gym equipment at home because the gyms were closed. That's how dedicated I was, or like disciplined and I loved the gym. That's what gave me peace.
Yeah.
So I went and bought 2 plates and a bar, and then I bought a bench press with the squat rack. So I used to live in a condo that they were renovating. I put that in the middle of my condo, and because they were renovating the rooms and stuff, the bed would be there too.
Hey, when there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. So that is what helped me lose that 75 pounds while doing intermittent fasting too. So I was eating my mom's food, but she would cook foods in like coconut oil, healthy, but I was just watching the time I was eating, and I was trying to stay active at the gym. And then I used to live on the 10th floor in a condo. So I would run up the stairs up and down every day for like 10-15 minutes.
Right.
And at that time I wasn't stressed or I didn't have anything, like only my sister's thing, but I believed that, okay, she's going to get better. So I wasn't really stressing about that. So I wasn't stressing here. So that's why I was able to transform my body quickly, because I wasn't holding any inflammation. And intermittent fasting is like so amazing for your body. Like,
and now, didn't you say at one point like you were pushing the needle a little bit too much and you were doing too much intermittent fasting?
It wasn't intermittent fasting. I was eating too low on calories.
Oh, okay.
I was eating too low on calories. That's what got my hormones all like, like it was like, honestly, like my hormones wasn't functioning properly because my body fat was way too low. So this is now.
Just a beast now.
This is me like just maintaining and like keeping a good lifestyle where I can eat and enjoy what I love to do. And after I honestly started eating a gut-friendly lifestyle, I'm actually able to stay more lean and eat more foods, because it's like I'm not holding much inflammation because my digestive system isn't fighting.
I'm so glad we're doing this with video right now, because people can see that despite challenging times and stressful times and family emergencies and so forth, that if things do go by the wayside a little bit and you let your body kind of fall a little bit, you can reverse it.
100%.
Yeah. You can.
Everything's reversible.
Yeah.
If you try.
So let's talk about a little bit like cultural challenges in terms of food, because you said that you were eating your mom's food and sometimes like what you've learned and all that stuff. So can you talk about just your background and what is a traditional sort of food or dish?
So my parents are from Sri Lanka, and all we eat is curry, like curry and rice. And it's like extra spices, and they put like double the amount. So I honestly love goat. So my mom makes a lot of goat curry, and the goat curry is, I notice, especially when I eat goat curry, in the like next 20 to 30 minutes after I eat the goat curry, I'm in the bathroom going diarrhea. But that's been happening to me for like since I was like young, you know what I mean? Because I've been eating that.
So is that common?
No.
For
other people, yes.
Yeah.
It is common. It's very common, yes.
But they just pass it off.
They'll be like, oh, like I just had a hot curry. So it's like, it's just going out of my stomach. But it's like burning, you know?
Right.
But that's not good for you.
Right.
That's not like, I realize that now. That's not good for you. So, so curry powder is bad for your gut lining. And like tomatoes, like we cook everything with tomatoes. Pokes holes and it has lectins in it.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of Sri Lankan people are vegetarian. All they eat is chickpeas, kidney beans, and like most vegetables like tomatoes, those all have lectins in it.
Yeah.
So just a story that happened in the past, like it was like last month. So as I was doing the carnivore diet, mentally I felt good, energized, like I didn't feel depressed. I became vegetarian for 15 days for a temple religious reason.
Yep. And
there you go again. My life just like went back to the low life. Like it was like where I started before the program, and how like I felt was like the same as how I felt before the program during that vegetarian diet. And I was trying my best to like.
And that's with the education.
With education.
Yeah.
I tried. It's so hard to get the vitamins you need from vegetarian foods
and protein, right?
It's so hard. Like I was literally like, even the protein, like I used the New Zealand, I forgot the brand, but
Shanusa.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it. Sorry. Yeah. So
it's a stupid name. I don't know why they name it. I don't get it. I can't spell
I started taking 2 scoops after my workout, and then 2 scoops before like after like later in the day.
Yeah.
And then in between, like, I don't know what to eat that's good vegetarian food. It's so hard. Like I was pretty much like fasting the whole time. I would, even if I eat like just a veggie meal, there's some kind of chickpeas or lentils or like.
So I'm just gonna, for the listenership and the viewership, when individuals are working with me and they're doing the gut program, obviously Thanesh did the whole program and you graduated with flying colors. And I even caught myself saying graduating. And remember we were talking about it in the sauna, because like a lot of people get intimidated with the idea of having to graduate, or like you have to meet a certain requirement in order to graduate. But no, it's just like, we call it graduation because there's a learning element.
Yes.
But we taught Thanesh and everyone, some of these plants that a lot of people eat, especially vegetarians, are high in lectins. And these proteins are very difficult to digest.
Yep.
Right. And they can cause an immune response, and they do raise inflammation. And a lot of them are anti-nutrients. Anti-nutrients basically block your body's ability to absorb some other nutrients. And that's one of the challenges that vegans are faced with, right? The bulk of their food that they're eating are very, very high in lectins. And unfortunately, a lot of those lectins are somewhat high in plant protein, but they're coupled with a lot of those plant chemicals and the anti-nutrients. So you're fighting it. You're trying to get the nutrition, but at the same time, you're consuming these things that are actually causing a lot of inflammation on the body. And you can ask pretty much any vegetarian, hey, how's your gut? How's your poops? How's your farting? And they all have it, but they don't admit it.
No.
And so this is like, you said this to me at the gym, like your people, a lot of your background, like your culture, it's common for them.
Very common. And they don't know that.
Right.
It's like, I see an uncle, he's bloated. Like just any uncle, he's always bloated because all they eat is curry and rice. That's their breakfast. I mean, that's how they grew up.
But what about oils and dairy?
Everybody uses vegetable oil. So bad for you.
Crazy.
Vegetable oil and everything that's bad for you, it'll be in that curry.
Yeah.
Tomatoes.
Right.
Like the curry powder and those stuff, and they keep eating that.
Right.
So there's this person I know. He has a group chat with 200 people.
Okay.
And they're doing a challenge for every day to get 10,000 steps.
Cool.
So that challenge was made because people that are in Canada that came from Sri Lanka have mental health issues.
Why?
Because like the food that they're eating. He literally told me the people that came from Sri Lanka and stuff, they're having so many mental health issues where they didn't have that back home.
Okay, so were they eating the same foods back home that they are here?
Back home, even my parents say they use coconut oil to cook.
Oh.
And they use like the different pots.
Yeah, but it's cheaper.
It's cheaper. They eat whole foods there without chemicals. They eat like everything is whole. But over here, everything has chemicals in it.
Right.
So once they don't realize that and they keep eating it.
And so they're eating their culture and they think that they're enjoying it and all that stuff.
But it's all fully
all riddled with chemicals and preservatives. And artificial colorings.
So
then the vegetable oil.
Yeah. So that's why they feel like that. That's why they're getting overweight. That's why they're always bloated. Like every brown person I know, they're bloated.
Okay, so we're gonna take one more break.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna conclude it with I want you to offer some help because you speak to a huge audience. I don't speak to them because I don't know any of them, but you do. You know them. And I want you to offer them hope because I know you're a coach, right? And you're also continuing your education because it seems to me that there's a lot of people
that need help
that are like you that do need help and they're nutritionally challenged.
Yes.
And they just don't know where to go.
No.
Until you.
I know a lot of people that are depressed and that are going through extreme anxiety because of the food they're eating.
And you know what that feels like.
Yeah, it's the worst feeling. It's like you have no hope. Like, oh, is this going to be the rest of my life? No, it's not going to be the rest of life. You change certain things and your life will be back to normal.
All right. Say that again because we're going to go to break. I want you to say that again. Hope.
Everybody has hope if they try. And it's the steps you have to take in order to get your life back. So
it's not, if someone feels as though they're bloated and they've got colitis and all this stuff, is there light at the end of the tunnel?
Yes.
If they do the right things?
100%. You can reverse colitis. You can reverse irritable bowel syndrome. You can reverse everything like diabetes, cancer. It's just taking those right steps and not like just taking the medicine for the rest of your life and doing like nothing and just taking it and just thinking you're going to get better. No, the medicine won't heal you.
No.
You're going to keep on taking that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And you're going to keep on taking that till you go to the grave.
So we're going to take a break, but we're going to go after the break. You're going to tell the audience what they can do to reverse all those horrible symptoms.
Yes.
All right. Let's take a quick break.
Yes.
Okay. So we're talking about hope, right? Share with the audience what you did. This is why we're here, right? A little bit of a shameless plug. But at the same time, I just want to help people. And so do you.
Yes, 100%.
Right? So paint the picture to the audience, the listenership and the viewership. What did you do?
Okay, so first thing I did was join your program. That's the best thing I did. And so honestly, I just did what you told me to do. So a juice cleanse followed with the colon hydrotherapy. And then
hold on, tell the audience about that, because you liked it.
No. I did it.
You've done more than one session, did you not?
So let me tell you the reason.
Okay.
So the first time I did it was this. Okay, after the program, after the juice cleanse, I did it. So the second time,
hold on, walk them. The audience wants details.
Okay,
give them some details.
So
some people might be like, "What the fuck's a colon hydrotherapy?"
So colon hydrotherapy is pretty much like flushing out your whole large colon, like a power wash. It like power washes your whole system, cleans out all the bad crap that was in there for years. That can be affecting your mental health too.
Sure.
And so it's like they put a pipe up your butthole.
It's a gentle instrument that only goes up maybe an inch. I just want to clarify that. You can be the R-rated or like the Oscar the Grouch version, and I'll just try to clean up the muss here, and so it's not too scary for anyone that's
it's not scary at all. So even me, the first time I went, of course, like I'm gonna think, oh, I'm gonna put something on my butt.
Yeah,
that's kind of sounds like gay.
Sure,
much.
Of course.
So and then when I went, like it was just like a small pipe. They just put it. So there's two different types of colon hydrotherapy. So I did both.
Okay.
So the first one was like you put it in yourself and then you have to like let it fill up and then push out all the bad, just like pushing out. It's like pretty much like you're pooping.
Yep.
So the other colon hydrotherapy was at Inside Health. That one's like the doctor sits with you. She'll literally tell you how your poop looks. Oh, is there yeast in there? Is it acidic, or is it does it have do you have undigested food in there? She tells you everything. And then so I did a couple of times, because the first time I did it, it was just for after the protocol to follow that. The second time I did it because I got the curry powder thing that messed up my stomach. So I kind of got
relapse.
I got scared after that. Honestly, I'm like, oh, am I gonna mess up the program? So I went again and I did it. So I felt like clean and relieved. So I was like, okay.
Yep.
And then I did it a third time just to try because the first time I tried was you put it in by yourself. The third time I tried was, the last one that I tried was at Inside Health. The doctor sits with you and she literally like tells you everything.
Yeah.
So the first day, so after the juice cleanse, I was still feeling a little bit down and stuff. And then right after the colon hydrotherapy, I went home and I took my probiotic. So I started with the supplement, zinc, probiotic, Man Up. So I honestly didn't know your product had shilajit in it. And that has 82 minerals, right?
It's very high in minerals.
High in minerals. And I just read the Himalayan sea, the salt part. I didn't read the part behind that.
Right.
And then, but
it's from the Himalayas and Himalayan mountains.
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah.
So that product has tonkat ali and the shilajit. So that's like that's very powerful. And I didn't know that, but I started taking that. It's called Man Up. And I started taking beef liver and I started taking the probiotic zinc. And there was a couple other supplements, so the next day when I woke up after taking that, and I had a nice steak right after the colon hydrotherapy, and I woke up the next day, and I wake up with anxiety. That next day, I did not wake up with anxiety. Like the panic, like it was like I wake up in a panic mode all the time. Like it's like a feeling in your chest. People probably know about it. I have panic attacks, but like it's like a feeling in your chest,
right?
That I haven't got since that day. Since that day, I haven't got it. And that was like the most, like, I was like, how can I get rid of this? Because I never had that like for 20 years or 21 years.
Right.
And that was bothering me more. So right after that, I was like, okay, I was able to control my mind. I was able to control my mind. So I was like, okay, this is working. So I kind of like like I felt like it was working. So I just kept the protocol going. So right after that, we were doing a it was intermittent fasting with certain foods like chicken breast or steak and stuff. And what I really like steak. So I just kept with steak and I was doing intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
So that was week 1. And week 2, we were able to incorporate fruits. But me, like he said, dates and pineapple. I went and bought the whole box. And I started eating so much dates and then the steak. So
you got a little carried away.
Yeah, I got a little carried away.
I put you in check and I touched some things.
I fixed it.
Yeah.
So the second week, so when I was supposed to go to the third week, I had to go back to the second week and I was just staying on carnivore.
Yeah.
Because I had bloating still after that. So the bloating was due to yeast, excess amount of yeast and candida. So I did a protocol that
don't give them all the meat and potatoes.
I did a protocol that helped me get rid of that.
Yeah.
So once I did that, I was my bloating went away. And then I kept on doing carnivore diet during the whole program.
Yeah.
And then
guys, just to also clarify, like it's not just eating steak every single day.
No.
Like there's some understanding and there's some formula. When we say carnivore, there's a carnivore base. But we get it.
I did that because I felt good with it.
Yep.
And I also was eating grass-fed bacon. Oh, that was really good. Grass-fed bacon. I started to get just like everything grass-fed. And I was eating steak, bacon. So I was just doing that for pretty much 5 weeks of just carnivore. And I loved the feeling of it. I felt like I was healing, like my body. And there's one more thing. So my sister, my mom, my dad, my other sister, they all got sick in June. And before this program, it would be me, the first person getting sick, and be the last person to heal. This in June, like after the program, like it wasn't even done. I was like in the mid of it and everyone got sick and I didn't get sick. I'm like, what's happening? Like I should be in bed sleeping if my parents are sick.
Right.
But I don't know what it was, but like all those years, like everyone tells me, oh, your immune system is shit. That's why you're getting sick. So I mean, my immune system was shit before.
Yeah. Because
all the energy was going to my digestive system.
You had stress.
Yeah.
You had colitis, crazy inflammation, right? It was just perpetually just cycling.
It was this constant fear. But then when that feeling of that anxiety went away, I'm like, oh, there's nothing to fear. Because even if I fear, like I don't feel anything. So it just kind of like, it's when you feel something is when you take it more serious. When you don't feel anything, it just kind of goes away.
Right.
So at that point, I was able to control my head after doing keep on going with the carnivore. So I just kept on doing it because I felt good.
Yeah.
So, the immune system thing. So I was really like, my parents and stuff were very sick, but I didn't get sick. So I was amazed with that already. I was like, okay, something is working clearly. So, and then my inflammation dropped because my body was healing and my stress was lower and my body wasn't stressed with foods that I was sensitive to. I was eating foods that I was sensitive to. Curry powder, the first one.
Right.
And I was eating a lot of foods with gluten before that too.
Yeah.
Cut out gluten. That right away gives me inflammation, bloating.
Yeah.
So, and then after that, I kind of, so the 6-week thing, you add carbs like on the third week.
Strategically.
Yeah. But I honestly, I felt like I was doing good with this. I'm like, okay, let me get to a point where I want to get to my weight and then I'll add carbs slowly. So that's what I did. And when I came to the 6th week, I started adding carbs slowly. And I only took in carbs when I needed it, when I feel like I needed energy. But I honestly didn't need the energy because the carnivore diet was amazing. So once if I need the carbs, I would do it before a workout so I can burn it off during my workout.
And I'm just going to interject. Like, I taught you, or we've got like this step-by-step process that you can follow to understand when to use carbohydrates.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't truly understand when to incorporate carbohydrates. So with that information, now it's just like, it becomes fun.
It becomes fun.
You really get to enjoy when to be strategic with your carbs. All right. So I'm going to kind of fast forward a little bit because you've had amazing success. Amazing. Right?
Yeah.
So much that you want to teach this and you want to help other people, your community,
100%.
people that your followers on Instagram, your existing clients. So I'm just going to kind of talk about the program and what we've done. And it's very exciting. And I'm very inspired to why we're doing it. So Thanesh graduated from the Gut Gang, the Gut Accelerator program. And then you decided you wanted to learn more, right? And how old are you?
24.
And a lot of people don't want to go back to school.
No, I don't.
And you said you hate school.
I went to college twice and I dropped out because I didn't want to do that. I didn't resent women.
Right.
Like, I didn't like to be there.
But you like being in this
club. But like that 6-week program, I loved learning from that.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if it's the way you teach too, but the way I learn, like I love the way I take the information in, and it's like I'm able to help people with it. So because of that, I love like getting that information and learning, because it's helping other people, even if it helps one person.
Yes.
And they're happy and they're saying, "Oh, you saved my life." That there's no other happiness than that.
And so that's where we are now, right? So Thanesh is now enrolled in my certification program, where you can become a gut whisperer yourself. And then you'll be able to help other people within that curriculum, the same curriculum that you learned from the first time.
Yeah.
And then you'll be able to apply that and teach other people. So what's exciting is for anyone that's listening to this or watching this podcast, guaranteed a ton of your followers are going to listen. 100%. And I know that you'll be able to share this with a lot of people in the sauna that you have your talks with. And by the new year, they'll be able to hire you. And really, you can help them with their gut health and their digestion, all that stuff.
Yes, 100%. And like this another thing. So one of my aunt from the temple, like not my real aunt, she's like an auntie that comes to the temple. I just told her in my language. I explained it to her like in Tamil. I speak fluent Tamil. Okay. I explained it to her. She's on blood pressure.
Say it to her in that language, and then say it to me after. Because the people that speak it will understand it. Like, so what did you say?
நான் அன்றைக்கு எடுத்து சொன்னேன் நான் லைக் இப்படி மறந்தால் வாழ்க்கை முழுக்க எடுத்துக்கொண்டு இருந்தால் அப்படி எடுக்க வேண்டியதான். And like நீங்கள் அதை ரிவர்ஸ் பண்ணலாம். Like நீங்கள் அந்த ஸ்டெப்ஸ் எடுத்தீங்க என்றால் like இந்த மறந்தால் எடுக்க தேவையில்லை. So I pretty much told her, if you're going to be taking all these medicine for the rest of your life, you're going to have to keep on taking it. You can reverse that by doing simple things and changing some dietary things. And she literally called me yesterday. She said, I started intermittent fasting September 25th. And she said she already stopped taking, she said she takes like antibiotic pills, like for painkiller or something for back pain before she goes to work. And she stopped taking it since September 25th. And she cut down her blood pressure pills already. And she said her back pain is gone away. Like it's going away.
Amazing.
And I just told her like 1-2 tips just to change. And that's all she did. And she called me and she's like, oh my God, like I feel so good.
So think of how much more you'll be able to help her with just tiny little changes.
Yeah. It's like everybody is like a tiny little change will make like, it's just for the future. Like it's just like good for your future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people don't want to listen to that and make that change.
Yeah.
Because they're just comfortable where they are. You have to get out of your comfort zone in order to become a better person.
Yeah. And one little change can mean a lot.
100%.
Clearly with your aunt.
Yeah.
Right?
Like she literally called, like I was like, she literally texted me. I can literally show you the text.
Yeah.
She's like, I've been like, I just started this, and she literally started doing intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
And she's changed some things in her diet. And she's like, her back pain, she said, my back pain is getting better.
Amazing.
And like she said she had it for a long time. She's always standing up too. She's a nurse.
Yeah.
So she's always standing up too. So that kind of just like, I was like, bro, like I was telling the people at work, I'm like, look, the auntie's calling me and telling me this. Imagine how many other people I can help.
Yeah. So for the listenership and the viewership, if you're in a state that Thanesh was in, there's definitely hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel. I can help for sure. I know that. I'll put a link here. You can watch my free webinar or anything like that. But also give Thanesh a follow, right? Because you'll be able to help. Even 100%. just ask him a couple questions here and there. And then at some point in the new year, I don't know when this episode is going to be live, but chances are you'll be certified and you'll be able to walk people through this whole gut rehabilitation process for themselves.
He's a gut whisperer. He's changing lives, honestly. Like he's changing people's lives.
Cool.
And I'm like grateful and I appreciate it for you to like bring me here and like so I can tell people my story. Yeah. And like, because I'm here honestly because he actually changed my life. Like if I always look for results like in whatever I do. So it's like I got the results of what I wanted.
Right.
And like I've been telling everyone, follow this guy, the gut whisperer. And then when I tell them the price, they'll be like, oh no, I say like, this is for my self-development. You should do it for yourself too. You know what I mean? It's not about the thing. If it's when you feel good mentally, you can do anything physically. You can make that money back.
Yeah. If someone had an iPhone right here and it fell and broke, the next day they would find whatever means
fix it.
And they're going to buy it and fix it.
Yeah.
Transmission breaks in the car. Shit. There's $2,000 or $3,000.
That's it.
You're going to find a way to fix it.
Yeah.
Next day.
But they won't fix their self.
when the cameraman, I'm going to use your line on this. He's like, I've been around for X amount of years and the engine light's been on for X amount of years. And how common is that for so many people, right? The engine light is on, but they just keep on driving. So for you, your engine light was on and you were smoking out the rear end and the hood was smoking, right? But at least you pulled over and turned the car off and did a reset, right?
It's like what you were saying, the colon hydrotherapy is like an oil change.
This is like an oil change.
This is like a full body oil change.
Yeah, you got to do it.
You were telling someone in the group chat, like when we were having the thing, she's 51 or something, and you're like, you haven't done an oil change for 51 years. And I was kind of like, that's messed, like, it was kind of like, shocking.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what a real oil change is. Yeah. They'll be like, oil change for your body? Oh, but this is what it is.
Totally.
And once you do that, it's like,
it gets better and better and better and better.
100%. It's like, I always tell this to everyone. When you feel good mentally, after a certain age, when you feel good mentally, physically, you can do anything because it's whatever is going on in here is you can do down here, like with your body. So if you want to, like, if you're feeling depressed and anxiety all the time, how are you going to be a millionaire? How are you going to live your purpose in life? If you're depressed and anxious for the rest of your life.
Can't.
And people are living like this until they go to the grave.
And so that's just it. By listening to this call, there is a starting point. There is a begin. There's somewhere where you can start. And it really does with, in our case, a gut reset.
Gut reset, yeah.
Hands down.
And everything starts from the gut too.
Yep. And I've seen it thousands and thousands and thousands of times. People around the world. I've helped people around the world. You've seen people on the calls around the world all resetting their guts. And then when they do that, it's a whole new life.
And they want to learn about it after because they're like, oh, there's this much stuff involved with it.
This is the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanesh, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me on your podcast.
It's an honor.
Yes.
It's been a real treat. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Yeah.
All right. That concludes this episode. Don't forget to give Thanesh a follow, and we'll hear and see you on the next podcast. Okay, that wraps up this episode of the Gut Gang podcast. Thanks so much for being part of the Gut Gang community.
And don't forget, if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, rate, and even leave a comment. Your feedback fuels our growth. And also, here's something special. If you want more exclusive content, be sure to become part of the private Gut Gang members-only community, where you get to see behind-the-scenes bonus segments in my cold plunge and the sauna with each of the podcast guests. That's right. Part of the podcast series is having the guests hang out with me for the whole day at my place, biohacking, taking cold plunges, going in the sauna, even a coffee tasting where we hook up all the mics and the cameras and we shoot the entire experience. You definitely don't want to miss out on this action. So I'll see you over there. Gut Whisperer out.